Manchester City handed Arsenal the initiative in the title race as they became the latest casualty of the Sunderland storm. Erling Haaland blew their best chance as Regis Le Bris side stretched their unbeaten Stadium of Light run to 10. Sign up for the football newsletter. Thank you. Man City lost ground on Arsenal in the title race. Credit. Getty. Pep Guardiola was left dismayed as Sunderland kept City out of their goal. Credit. Getty. The high-flying Black Cats stood toe-to-toe with the High Flyers, leaving Pep Guardiola relieved to leave with a bloody nose and a point. It was after City's previous visit to the Northeast that serious questions about Guardiola's rebuild were asked. And after what could be his last, with his Etihad future still up in the air, more doubts were raised over their credentials. A 2-1 defeat at Newcastle on November 22 allowed Arsenal to go 6 points clear at the top. But that setback sparked something deep inside the citizens that many thought was lacking from Guardiola's new look gang. Read more in football. A 6-match winning run propelled them right back into contention, but this failure to down Sunderland handed the advantage right back to the Gunners. And if Guardiola does go on to lead City to a 7th Prem crown, then they will certainly look back on this one as a key moment in the campaign after surviving an almighty scare. Sunderland were chasing a three-peat, having held Arsenal and third-placed Aston Villa here already. Erling Haaland and company knew they were stepping into an ice-cold hell the second they stepped off the team bus as a baying mob waited to give them a warm Wearside welcome. Most read in football. Best free bets and betting sign-up offers. But while Le Bris's side had their 12th man behind them, this was going to be their toughest task yet to end an 8-match losing streak to City with his depleted army with 6 stars at AFCON and defensive colossus Dan Ballard missing. Despite previous results here against the big boys, the Frenchmen's side were given the runaround in a 3-0 loss at the Etihad less than a month ago. But if they and their proud home run was to end, then they were going down swinging. Forward Eliezer Mayenda, starting for the first time since August, came in for midfielder Chris Rigg in a clear message they were ready to take the gloves off from the opening bell in order to try and end a 12-year wait for a win over the Blue Boys from Manchester. Guardiola shuffled his pack too from the 2-1 win at Nottingham Forest. Nathan Ake got a first league start since October in place of Josko Gvardiol, and Savino was in for Tijani Reinders. City, who had an early Bernardo Silva strike ruled out for offside, made an ominous start, enjoying all of the possession and silencing the locals. "Where's your famous atmosphere?" asked the away fans. That all changed when Nordi Mukiel's long ball sent Brian Brobby clear down the right. The crowd roared on as the Dutchman held off Ruben Dias and pulled the trigger, but Gianluigi Donnarumma's giant paw denied him an opener. Now the home supporters were cheering every tackle like it was a goal, enjoying their own spell of pressure. But you do not get the CV Guardiola has without learning a trick or two. Bernardo Silva scored for City, but his effort was ruled out for offside. Credit. Getty. It was the closest City came to a goal all game. Credit. Getty. And once Nico Gonzalez went down needing treatment and he got his boys in for a regroup, they looked to have rode out the storm. Then, out of nothing, bang. Phil Foden was slipped in by Mateus Nunes and cut it back for the prowling Haaland, who finally got his first sniff after being marshalled brilliantly by Mukiele. It was a chance that the ruthless Norwegian would usually gobble up, but he got his angles wrong and side-footed right at Robin Roofs from 12 yards. Winger Savino caused concern as he went down injured. Credit, AFP. The ace limped off ahead of Antoine Semenyo's imminent move from Bournemouth. Credit, AFP. And they were almost punished right before the break when Dennis Sirkin crossed for Try Hume, only for the fullback to head over. Guardiola, sensing danger, turned to Ballon d'Or winner Rodri, the Spaniard replacing Gonzalez for his first outing in 2 months. Instantly City looked more dangerous. Cherki slid in a cross from the right for Savino to rifle over from 8 yards, injuring himself in the process as Jeremy Doku took his place. It was a tough day at the office for Erling Haaland. Credit, AFP. Josko Gvardiol came close to netting off the bench but was denied. Credit, PA. But once more stubborn Sunderland stood firm, absorbing body shots and continuing to land blows themselves as Simon Adingra stung the hands of Donnarumma. This was the Sunderland that the rest of the top flight are growing to fear. City's goalie was called into action again, producing a fine low stop to claw away Mayenda's strike. A wayward pass from Haaland straight into touch provided more ammunition as the hosts smelt blood. Though it was Gvardiol who almost delivered a knockout blow, outmuscling his marker to meet Rodri's floated pass, but a big save from Roofs tipped it over. Recommended stories. Mukiele was seeing stars when Doku danced through the defense and smashed a shot straight at his face, and a flick from Gvardiol rattled the post as the visitors began to turn the screw. But they are made of stern stuff, these Sunderland lads. And they continued to throw bodies in the way of everything thrown at them to keep their European dream alive and upset another of the elite.